Bene, amici di Carp Fishing Mania, siamo qui sulle sponde del bellissimo Lago di Saint Cassien con una vera leggenda, Steve Briggs, che ci ha accolto nella sua postazione. Thank you, Steve.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
So, a few questions for our Italian friends watching. So, we are now in 2011, and I know that you fished Cassien the first time in 1986.
Yes.
So it's 25 years for you now fishing in Cassien. So
yeah, half my life basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, 1986 was the first time, and yeah, it was my first time ever outside of England. When I just started driving, and it was a big adventure, huge adventure in those days, because I'd only just learnt to drive in England, so to come abroad, and you know, of course, it's the other side of the road.
Sure, yeah.
And it took me 2 days to arrive here. 2 days of just driving and searching, and but it was worth every minute, because you know, when I arrived here, it was like heaven. You know, it was the best sight that I'd ever seen. Certainly the best lake I'd ever been to, and it's just lovely. And you know, I fell in love with Cassien straight away as soon as I saw it, and had a great time here. Caught some lovely fish. At the time, my two biggest fish ever, which were not monsters today, you know, 17 and 19 kilos, but it was the start of, you know, the Cassien love affair for me. And 25 years later,
you're still in love with it?
Still in love with it.
Yeah.
For me, it's still the best lake.
Okay, okay. And you have some nice, maybe a few stories to tell us about, of special Cassien sessions you had, or special fish you caught here?
Yeah, every time is different. I like to have a trip in the summer and one in the winter, and they're both so different. Summer's lovely for swimming, and you catch more fish, but normally the weights are lower. But I've caught some very nice fish that have become some of the biggest fish in the lake.
Okay.
You know, I've caught timotei. There was a fish timotei, which for a while was the biggest fish.
Yeah.
I had that one summer at 25 kilos. It was then, and when you're only allowed to fish the day sessions in the summer, it was so tiring that I was asleep, and I'd forgot to put my alarm on, and I woke up and the line was all gone. 11 o'clock in the morning, and the line was all over the place, and it was round an old marker under the water, and I got it off, and I didn't expect to get the fish, and then all of a sudden the fish was on, and it came up, and it was timotei, you know, one of the famous fish. It was lucky, but a special memory.
Nice. And you were telling me, you fish one big session in summer, one in winter. So how is then your on what do you base your swim choice for those trips? You know, are there more summer swims, winter swims, depending on weather conditions, or on the level of the water, or how do you choose where to go, really?
I mean, it does depend on the level of the water. You know, it's like I'm in the West Arm now, and if the water's very low, then there's just not many places to fish. There's not much water here, and then probably I'd start in the North Arm. But with Cassien, you just never know where the fish are going to be. It's the problem, and it's also the nice thing, because it's not predictable. Most lakes I go to, after 3, 4, 5 years, you know the routine, the situation, and then it loses something. But with Cassien, it's always changing.
It's always a new challenge.
Yeah, and every time I come back to a place where I caught fish last year, they're not there.
Okay.
So, you know, I have to keep searching.
Just keep searching, and maybe hear through the grapevine what people maybe are catching, or where they're going to go, or heard a little bit the rumors of the lake.
It's I've never found it good moving in after someone's caught a lot of fish.
Okay.
It's like the fish don't stay in an area too long. You can catch them for a week, and then they'll move.
Okay.
So if you move in after someone, then you've missed the good time.
Yeah.
The trick is to move in before the other people. So to find a place that hasn't been fished for maybe 3 or 4 weeks if you can. And they always move into the quiet areas. So you move into a quiet area, maybe have a good week, and then if it carries on, then good. But most times it starts to go quiet, and then you have to move again.
Okay. And maybe go a little bit more in the technical detail, how you fish Cassien. So what worked best for you? Which approach, like baiting approach, or don't know the depths you're fishing. You're fishing big. You're fishing shallows. Or you're fishing the deeper water.
Yeah, I mean the depths are so important here because the water it varies so much how deep you fish, and it varies with the time of the year. Generally, in the summer you fish a lot deeper, and in the winter, as it gets colder, you come up more and more shallow. This time of year, it's warmer at the moment, but normally in December I wouldn't fish more than 5 or 6 metres.
Okay.
And as it gets towards the end of December, it would be 3 or 4.
Okay.
And it's difficult to catch fish beyond those depths.
Maybe also because of the oxygen. Could this be that many lakes in the winter they have less oxygen saturation in the deeper water?
Possibly, I would say it's more to do with temperature.
With temperature.
Yeah, because heat rises, and so the cold water goes to the deeper water, and the upper layers
stay warmer.
So the colder it gets, the less warm levels they have. So they come higher and higher in the winter.
And do the wind play a big part here in Cassien?
Not so much. Sometimes the fish can move on a big wind, and sometimes they can feed well on a big wind. But it doesn't seem to change many things. That if the fish are there in an area, then you have a big wind. Most times they will still be in the same place when the wind has stopped. They haven't moved with the wind. And here, sometimes the wind can change 2 or 3 times in the day with the valley. So if they wanted to follow the wind, they'd be swimming all day long. So it doesn't affect them too much, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Yes. Now we got a little bit of your Cassien secrets, and if we can call them secrets. Today's a really beautiful day, and we hope that we can catch some more fish.
Yeah, we both started off well.
Yeah,
and
we started off well and
slowed down a bit, hasn't it?
And then maybe it's time to get on the move.
Maybe, yeah. It could be moving on to the fish, and conditions are playing their part. The water's going down now, and that tends to, make the fish move less and feed less for some reason. But it's Cassien.
Yeah.
It's one of the many different problems we have. And
so you are a fan of of the Cassien theory to move, to search for the fish. Maybe a few nights without action, pack up and move.
Yeah. A few times I've stayed in one place and the fish have come to me. But I've also seen some guys wait a month and catch nothing. Whereas quite a lot of times I've moved and caught a very big fish the first night after moving, very quick after moving. So, for me, if it's not happening, I would move.
So your experience tells you to move?
Keep moving, and sometimes you move to another place or 2 places and there's still no fish. But eventually...
At least you have tried.
Yeah, and then that also helps because there's 3 places where there's no fish, so gradually you narrow the options and eventually you find them, hopefully.
Okay. So, Steve, I would like to thank you for this little chat we had, for our Italian watchers, and I wish you all the best for your Cassien winter fishing. And wish you also a good Christmas because
I'll still be here.
You'll still be here, and we finish here.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Hi to everyone at Carp Fishing Mania. Hope you all enjoy your fishing and catch some very nice big fish. Happy New Year.